Yesterday, the Republican-led Senate Armed Services Committee voted and sent his nomination to the full Senate for confirmation.
Senator, I wanted to ask you, and I'd certainly be remiss if I hadn't, regarding the status of the nominees. I saw, of course, there was a vote earlier regarding Pete Hegseth with the full Senate, 53 senators voting on that. Now, that's not the formal confirmation vote, but it is certainly a good sign.
Yeah, I'm optimistic that Pete's going to get across the finish line. What I love about Pete is he's going to address two of the biggest problems the military has. One is recruiting, and number two is the morale in the military. When Pete was stopping by my office, he happened to meet my young son who just got back serving in the Army in Poland for 9 months. He and Pete sat down. They would still be talking if I didn't say, hey, Pete, maybe you could talk to the senator for a moment. So I think that Pete's going to really relate to those younger folks in the military, or war fighters, as he calls them, as opposed to them focusing on the military industrial complex. So I'm excited about his ability to recruit, and I'm excited about his ability to address the morale in the military as well. So those are great things. I think he'll get across the finish line.
Well, that's certainly right. And those troops that we have stationed in Poland, that's, of course, a force that Zelensky has been calling for, now asking for 200,000 NATO troops to come and act as some sort of peacekeeping force. Look, Senator, I think with yourself having a son who's actually serving there, prepared to potentially have to go to war against the Russian state, I'm not sure exactly if U.S. troops being added to the situation is really something that's going to get us to the peace that we've been talking about for so long in these forever wars.
You know, you couldn't be more right. We have over 100,000 troops in Europe, and I would ask why. We have some across 80 countries. We have, I think, some 8,000 military bases. Do we need all those? It's time for the European Union to step up and do what they need to do. America needs to take a step back and do what President Trump has said he's going to do, and that's secure our border. You know, we just met with Stephen Miller over the lunch hour. Yesterday, they arrested 350 criminal aliens. That was day one, and the national troops are already on their way down there. Our National Guard, our federal military is on their way there. President Trump declared it an emergency situation so he can mobilize some of the military to go down there. Our focus should be on our own borders. Europe needs to take care of their own problems. Look, we can be a partner, but we need to focus on our own borders right now.
And Senator, we're just also getting breaking news here that moments ago, the U.S. debt clock, which of course everyone is familiar with, usdebtclock.org, has a new addition to it. Can you explain that to us, Senator?
Well, the Doge clock is up. We're part of the Doge caucus up here, but looks like the clock had a baby, and it's the Doge clock. And already President Trump has saved America $8 billion and counting. Again, meeting with Stephen Miller over the lunch hour, we were discussing just this. What else can we do to remove waste, fraud, and abuse from the federal government? There's incredible opportunities, and it's been enjoyable to work with Vivek as well as Elon. Lots of opportunities, and now we just got to put a pencil to the paper and get her done, as they say.
Senator, let's talk about some of the other nominees now. One of the ones that I know has been getting a lot of talk is Tulsi Gabbard. There's been some questions regarding this. And look, Lieutenant Colonel Gabbard, this is what I've been trying to understand is with some of your colleagues, they're saying, oh, we're not sure. We keep getting these questions about how, they're not familiar with her background. I say she's been in the military for almost 20 years. She's a lieutenant colonel. She actually outranks Pete Hegseth, at least in terms of a military scale, though I suppose Pete might be able to change that if he wanted to with the in short order here. What are you hearing as regards to Lieutenant Colonel Gabbard?
Look, I think that she'll get across the finish line, but she needs to have a good appearance there in front of the committee. What some people are criticizing her for is what I love about her. I love the fact that she's an outsider. She's not a spook. She's not a spy. She's not afraid to let America see more of what's going on. Look, there are some things that are classified that for our national security's sake, we shouldn't let everybody know about it. But a lot of the things that these spies keep under wraps wraps are not that would not compromise national security. As a former congressperson herself, and I served a couple years with her, she understands how frustrating it is when someone from the Pentagon says, well, we need to do such and such, but we're not going to let you see the intelligence surrounding that. You need to go back no further than COVID. The aspiring and that our own National Intelligence Agency kept us separated from information that they needed to know, even kept information from President Trump that he needed to know. So I think she'll be a breath of fresh air. She's going to bring more transparency. She's going to lean towards giving America more information as opposed to less. Yeah, she's going to get some questions about her. She doesn't fit the prototype that they've been looking for up here. But look, 77 million people voted for President Trump and said they wanted change. Tulsi's going to be one of those change agents.
And I think that's exactly right. Look, at the end of the day, this is what the American people voted for. This is the mandate, and delivering on that mandate, whether it be Tulsi Gabbard, whether it be others. And President Trump, of course, campaigned to the American people on this promise. People are saying, oh, he's bringing in all these outsiders. Say, wait a minute. No, that's specifically and explicitly what he said he would do on the campaign trail.
Yeah, that's exactly right. So he's doing what he said he's going to do. Isn't that surprising to everybody up here? I'm excited for RFK Jr., another game-changing type of person. He may be, again, one of the more controversial picks, but there's not a person more outside the box than RFK Jr. Bobby and I have had several conversations developing a personal relationship. Again, this guy's a rock star. I think what the press is underestimating about Bobby is that there's an army of people out there that are supporting him. And these folks, to be honest, it's a lot of young women that care about their children, their children's health. I met them on the campaign trail. These are the women that didn't want their children to be vaccinated by the COVID. And now they've kind of caught wind and found a person, a champion in Bobby Kennedy Jr. So I'm excited about his nomination, but I think it's so important that your listeners, at least if you support Bobby, I don't know how you feel about him, Jack, but I think he's going to be great for America. He's going to focus on making America healthy again. And when he comes up for that nomination hearing, your senators need to hear from your listeners and say, we support this guy. Don't listen to the legacy media. I think that there are hundreds of thousands of people out there supporting his nomination. Someone that's going to look out for the health and well-being of their children, especially.